this just adds further fuel to the fire. So I think, this is particularly embarrassing for Keir Starmer. It raises questions about his judgment, and it just brings those negative headlines all back again. No, let's not forget, this is the guy who was pictured smiling with Keir Starmer when he was appointed US ambassador.
Let's begin this morning with Keir Starmer's intervention on Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. Yesterday, he told reporters, in terms of testifying, anybody who has got information should be prepared to share that information in whatever form they are asked to do that. You can't be victim-centred if you're not prepared to do that. We can speak to Kevin Schofield, HuffPost UK political editor. Good morning, Kevin.
Morning, Calum.
Does this feel like a change of tone from the Prime Minister?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, he has in the past obviously said that Andrew should cooperate. I think this does go a little bit further, obviously speaking to reporters on his jaunt to China and Japan. And I mean, again, it adds to the pressure on Andrew. I'm sceptical, however, as to whether or not that will make any difference in terms of changing Andrew's mind or making it more likely he would cooperate, but it certainly is significant, I think, when the Prime Minister decides to wade in on a story like this.
Yes, it is significant. How does that work in terms of the relationship between the Prime Minister and the Palace? Because there is often this sort of conventional sort of distance almost between the two interfering or working together on such interventions as this.
Yeah, I mean, the government is always extremely reluctant to intervene in anything regarding the royal family if they can at all help it. However, I think given that obviously the King stripped his brother of all his royal titles, I think that gives the Prime Minister an opening certainly to criticise Andrew, because he is, I guess, to all intents and purposes, a normal a normal person now. He's no longer in the royal family, really. So that gives the Prime Minister a little bit more leeway. I mean, it is uncomfortable for the King. The King will not obviously be very happy at these headlines once again concerning his brother. He can take the title off him, but there's still that taint. He was in the royal family when all these things were alleged to have happened. The Prime Minister, I think even now, would probably be a little bit reluctant, ideally, to comment on matters relating to anything, even tangentially connected to the royal family. But given that he's no longer a prince, then I suppose that allows him to intervene.
Yeah. To what extent does Starmer have to be somewhat careful of the line he is treading here because of Lord Mandelson's appearance in the Epstein files? Of course, he's lost his job as ambassador to the US, but he does remain a member of the House of Lords. And even in the last few hours, a picture of Lord Mandelson in his underwear has appeared in these Epstein files. And he's kind of said he doesn't have any recollection of the photo being taken, etc., etc. I do just wonder if Starmer has to be careful, because this is a Labour peer who still sits in the House of Lords, who clearly is closer with, or was closer with Jeffrey Epstein than perhaps we had all been led to believe.
Well, yeah, and he's not just any Labour peer, obviously a former cabinet minister, and also he was Keir Starmer's pick to be US ambassador. The plum role in the diplomatic service, ripped up convention really to give him that job. Very controversial, and embarrassingly ended up having to sack him over his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, this just adds further fuel to the fire. So I think, this is particularly embarrassing for Keir Starmer. It raises questions about his judgment, and it just brings those negative headlines all back again. No, let's not forget, this is the guy who was pictured smiling with Keir Starmer when he was appointed US ambassador. Keir Starmer was very happy to be seen as closely associated with him, because he was viewed as having a close relationship with President Trump, so he could obviously help the UK that way. It all ended badly, and more embarrassing revelations, and I guess questions as to whether or not he should maintain the Labour whip in the House of Lords. So I don't think this story is going away either.
Yeah, I should say as well, there is no suggestion of wrongdoing by Lord Mandelson. He has consistently denied any sexual misconduct or awareness of Epstein's crimes. He's issued something of an apology for maintaining that association with Jeffrey Epstein after his conviction. He said on Friday, "I apologise unequivocally for doing so to the women and girls who suffered." Just in terms then, Kevin, of the Prime Minister's return to the UK, which, I think was due around now, actually, for them to touch down back in London after his trip to China, with a stop in Beijing and Shanghai and on to Japan as well. Is it clear to you what the week ahead looks like for the PM? If these Epstein files are continuing to circulate, cause problems, he staged something of an intervention during the plane journey home. I wonder how the week is mapped out for Number 10.
Well, yeah, I mean, he'll be hoping just to move on and get back to the domestic agenda. But I mean, that's a month now. We're into 2026, and he's not really been able to get on the front foot. I know that was what Number 10 hoped to do in January, start focusing on the cost of living, for instance. But, you know, Donald Trump's interventions on Greenland, the stuff he said about NATO and Afghanistan, and now the Epstein files means that, you know, all that has been drowned out. Add into that, obviously, you've got the Gorton and Denton by-election as well, and the furore over Andy Burnham being blocked. So it's been a difficult start to 2026 for Keir Starmer, just as it was a very difficult end to 2025. Questions about his own personal future are definitely not going away. Everything now, I think, for him personally, will be focused on that by-election, because it really is a must-win now for Labour.
Yeah. Kevin, great to speak to you this morning. Thank you very much. Kevin Schofield is HuffPost UK political editor.